There are places on Earth that make us question whether they truly exist. Some rise like legendary peaks carved out of myth. Others are lakes filled with mysterious life forms. And still others are man-made creations that look as if they belong in a digital world. In today's journey, you'll witness 30 places on Earth that seem unreal, where nature and human imagination have come together to create masterpieces beyond belief. Are you ready to explore? Hengifoss, Iceland. In the land of fire and ice, Hengifoss stands as Iceland's third highest waterfall, plunging 128 meters into a dramatic canyon. What makes it truly remarkable isn't just its height, but the striking backdrop. Black basalt cliffs streaked with vivid red clay layers, as if Mars itself had been painted across the rock face. The trail leading to Hengifoss offers its own surprises, guiding visitors past Reynisfjara, a smaller yet equally mesmerizing waterfall, framed by towering hexagonal basalt columns that resemble a natural cathedral. Standing before Hengifoss, you're not just witnessing a waterfall, but reading a geological story carved over millions of years into the very bones of the Earth. Jellyfish Lake, Palau. Imagine swimming through a cloud of strange, glowing creatures, drifting all around you like silent spirits. They don't sting, they don't flee, they simply float, as if time itself flows differently in this hidden world. Welcome to Jellyfish Lake, a surreal marine lake tucked deep within the rock islands of Palau. Thousands of years ago, this saltwater lake became isolated from the open ocean, and over time, its ecosystem evolved in near-complete isolation. In a twist of nature, the golden jellyfish that inhabit the lake gradually lost most of their stinging ability. Without predators, they no longer needed defense. The result? A shimmering population of delicate, translucent beings gently pulsing beneath the sunlight, forming a slow-motion ballet in a perfectly silent world. Visitors can snorkel among the jellyfish, brushing past them softly, feeling the gentle movement of life that's almost too light to touch. Each jellyfish catches and scatters sunlight in its own way, turning the entire lake into a living galaxy beneath the surface. Jellyfish Lake isn't just a place to visit. It is an underwater world unlike anything else on Earth, where the line between biology and myth disappears, and where you can float through the impossible, knowing it is entirely real. Dolomites, Italy. In northeastern Italy, the Dolomites stretch for 150 kilometers like a colossal wall of stone reaching into the sky. Their jagged, tower-like peaks glow in surreal shades of pink and orange at sunrise and sunset, a phenomenon Italians call enrosadira. Among the most iconic are the Tre Cime di Lavaredo, three soaring spires that have become the unmistakable symbol of the Dolomites. But beyond the mountains themselves, this region hides wartime tunnels from World War I, cozy villages tucked into valleys, and winding roads that lead travelers through landscapes that seem painted by hand. Often called the most beautiful mountains in the world, the Dolomites are more than scenery. They are a living masterpiece where history, culture, and raw nature converge. Devil's Tower, USA. Rising above the plains of Wyoming, Devil's Tower looks like a colossal tree stump thrusting up from the earth. its surface lined with perfectly ordered hexagonal columns. Standing more than 260 meters tall, this monolithic block of phonolite porphyry was formed around 40 million years ago, slowly revealed through erosion over time, leaving behind a site that is both surreal in beauty and steeped in mystery. For native tribes such as the Lakota and Cheyenne, this is sacred ground. Legends say the grooves along its sheer walls are claw marks left by a giant bear, desperately trying to climb after a group of children. Today, Devil's Tower still stirs a shiver of awe, where raw nature, ancient myth, and a stone tens of millions of years old converge in a way that defies ordinary understanding. Boulders Beach, South Africa. Just outside Cape Town, Boulders Beach offers one of the most unforgettable sights in South Africa. Scattered across soft white sand, giant granite boulders shape a wild, rugged shoreline. But what truly makes this place world-famous is its colony of African penguins. From just a handful of pairs in 1982, their numbers have now grown into the thousands. Watching these comical little penguins waddle across the sunlit beach, or even swim playfully alongside visitors, feels like stepping into another world. With turquoise seas, bright sand, granite rocks, and the charm of these quirky birds, Boulders Beach is a rare wonder where nature feels both intimate and surreal. River of Five Colors, Colombia. Tucked away in a remote region of Colombia, where the Amazon rainforest, the Andes Mountains, and the Llanos Plains converge, flows a river so surreal, it's often called the River of Five Colors, or simply Caño Cristales, widely regarded as the most beautiful river on Earth. From June to November, the river bursts into a vibrant display of red, yellow, green, blue, and black, creating a living rainbow flowing through the jungle. This magical transformation is thanks to a rare aquatic plant called Macarinia clavigera, which clings to the rocks on the riverbed. When water levels are just right and sunlight hits at the perfect angle, the plants bloom in dazzling colors, turning the river into a kaleidoscope of liquid light. What makes Caño Cristales even more unique is that it contains no large fish or sediment, as the riverbed is made entirely of smooth stone. The water is so clear you can see straight to the bottom, giving the illusion of gliding over a stained glass window. As the river winds through waterfalls, natural pools, and carved rock channels, it forms a breathtaking mosaic that feels almost otherworldly. For decades, this area was closed off due to armed conflict, only recently opening to tourism. That long isolation has kept Caño Cristales untouched and pristine, a natural wonder so pure and mesmerizing, it still feels like a secret the Earth hasn't quite finished revealing. Cala Goloritzé, Italy. Tucked away on the eastern coast of Sardinia, Cala Goloritzé is often hailed as one of Italy's most beautiful beaches. Its small stretch of white pebbles, crystal-clear turquoise waters, and towering limestone cliffs create a setting so pure it feels almost unreal. The highlights here are a natural stone arch and a vertical rock pinnacle rising about 140 meters, a challenge that draws daring climbers. To reach Cala Goloritzé, travelers must either hike a scenic trail or arrive by boat, though vessels are only allowed to stop 200 meters offshore. This isolation preserves its untouched beauty, making it feel like a hidden paradise reserved only for those patient enough to seek it out. Verdon Gorge, France. In the south of France, the Verdon Gorge cuts across the land like a colossal scar, stretching 25 kilometers long and plunging as deep as 700 meters, with the emerald green Verdon River rushing below. Often called the Grand Canyon of Europe, it is both majestic and poetic, where sheer limestone cliffs meet turquoise waters sparkling in the sun. Visitors can admire the view from high above, or venture inside the canyon by kayak or catamaran, immersing themselves in the overwhelming scale of nature. Verdon is not only a geological wonder, but a place that makes you feel small before the endless power of the earth. Grand Prismatic Spring, United States. If there's a place on Earth that looks like it was painted by nature itself, it's the Grand Prismatic Spring, the largest hot spring in the United States, located in Yellowstone National Park. Viewed from above, it resembles a giant eye glowing with surreal colors, radiating from deep blue at the center to vibrant rings of green, yellow, orange, and red, creating a stunning, dreamlike scene. Measuring about 370 feet, 113 meters, in diameter, larger than a football field, and around 160 feet, 50 meters, deep, the spring releases nearly 560 gallons, 2,100 liters, of hot water every minute through a crack in its floor. With temperatures reaching up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 70 degrees Celsius, it's far too hot for large organisms to survive. Yet, in this extreme environment, thermophilic bacteria thrive, each producing pigments that form the spring's dazzling rainbow of colors. Grand Prismatic isn't just a geological marvel. It's a symbol of life's ability to adapt and flourish in the harshest of conditions. Every hue tells a story of survival, and every step closer reveals a breathtaking harmony between science and natural art. It's not just a place to see, but a place to be amazed. Niagara Falls, USA and Canada. Straddling the border between the United States and Canada, Niagara Falls roars down like a colossal wall of water, its thunder echoing without pause. 3 cascades, Horseshoe, American, and Bridal Veil, combine to form one of the most powerful waterfall systems on Earth. While its height is just about 57 meters, the sheer force and volume, over 2,800 cubic meters of water per second, leave every visitor in awe. From boats navigating through the misty veil below, travelers can feel the raw power of nature up close. With its dazzling beauty and undeniable might, Niagara stands as one of the world's most iconic natural wonders. Mount Fuji, Japan. Considered the sacred symbol of Japan, Mount Fuji rises to 3,776 meters, making it both the highest and most iconic mountain in the land of the rising sun. Its perfectly symmetrical, snow-capped cone has inspired countless works of art, from woodblock prints to poetry. For the Japanese, Fuji is not just a mountain. It is a spiritual place tied to both Shinto and Buddhism. Each season dresses it in a new form, pure white in winter, framed by cherry blossoms in spring, lush green in summer, and crimson maples in autumn. Whether admired from Lake Kawaguchi, the Churaito Pagoda, or glimpsed from an airplane window, Mount Fuji always appears serene and surreal, like a dream floating above Japan's sky. Kjeragbolten, Norway. High in Norway's majestic Kjerag Mountains rests the mysterious Kjeragbolten, a massive boulder wedged between two cliffs some 50,000 years ago, now suspended nearly 1,000 meters above the Reynisfjara below. The sight alone is enough to make your heart race. With a single step, you can stand on this rock in the sky, feeling as if you're floating between earth and heaven. Many daring visitors choose to pose for photos atop the boulder, creating images so striking they look almost unreal. Kjeragbolten is not only a geological wonder, but also a true test of courage for anyone bold enough to set foot on it. Reynisfjara Beach, Iceland. On Iceland's southern coast, Reynisfjara feels like a scene from another world. Its black volcanic sands, born from Katla's eruptions, create a haunting yet powerful beauty. Rising above the shoreline are towering basalt columns, like a fortress built for giants, while the Reynisfjara sea stacks loom offshore. Legend says they were once trolls, frozen into stone by the first light of dawn. The waves here are notoriously fierce, surging suddenly and without warning, making the beach as dangerous as it is captivating. With its surreal landscapes and ancient folklore, Reynisfjara stands among the most extraordinary and otherworldly beaches on Earth. Barringer Crater, USA. In the heart of the Arizona desert lies the Barringer Crater, a colossal scar etched into the earth. Around 40,000 years ago, a meteorite weighing more than 300,000 tons slammed into the surface at a speed of 12 kilometers per second, carving out a pit 229 meters deep and 1.2 kilometers across. From above, it looks like an otherworldly arena, an awe-inspiring reminder of the universe's raw power. In the 1960s, NASA astronauts trained here to prepare for the moon landings, as the barren landscape closely resembles the lunar surface. Today, Barringer Crater stands not only as a geological wonder, but also as a stark reminder of our planet's fragility in the face of cosmic events. Tunga, the devil's tongue, piercing into thin air. Have you ever stood on the edge of a rock, with a 1,100-meter abyss beneath you, where a single misstep would send you plunging into thin air? If that thought makes you shudder, then Tunga, also known as the devil's tongue, will undoubtedly leave you awestruck. Nestled among Norway's majestic mountains, Tunga is one of the world's most spectacular rock formations. This giant slab of rock juts out from a cliff face like a massive tongue, protruding straight into the void, creating a scene both breathtaking and terrifying. Its peculiar shape was sculpted over 10,000 years ago when colossal glaciers receded, leaving behind sharp cliffs and isolated rocky outcrops. But to witness this natural masterpiece firsthand, you must embark on a journey not intended for the faint-hearted. The trek to Tunga spans 27 kilometers, requiring 10 to 12 hours of hiking across snowy fields, icy streams, and steep, rugged trails. Each year, thousands of adventurers tackle this challenging trek, all for that thrilling moment of standing on the rock, experiencing the sensation of being on top of the world as they gaze down at the turquoise waters of Ringedalsvatnet Lake below. On clear days, Trolltunga offers a surreal scene where the vivid blue sky merges seamlessly with the tranquil lake, surrounded by endless stretches of mountains, creating a landscape so captivating that it makes you forget your fear. However, when mist and clouds descend, the entire area transforms into something mysterious and gloomy, truly living up to its name, the Devil's Tongue. Many brave souls venture to sit on the edge, some even lying down to capture stunning photographs. Yet, there are no railings or safety ropes here. A single misstep could result in a fall into the deep chasm below. Thus, the ultimate question remains: are you brave enough to stand on Trolltunga and conquer one of the most terrifying cliffs on Earth? Jigokudani Monkey Park, Japan. Nestled in the snowy mountains of Nagano, Jigokudani Monkey Park is world-famous for a sight unlike anywhere else. Japanese macaques, or snow monkeys, soaking peacefully in steaming hot springs while winter rages around them. At about 850 meters above sea level, the area is called Hell Valley for its steep cliffs and billowing geothermal steam. Yet, within this harsh setting, the image of monkeys huddled together in warm water, their faces serene, as if enjoying a natural spa, feels almost surreal. Wild, yet strangely relatable, Jigokudani makes you wonder if nature itself has found a way to pamper its creatures. Faroe Islands, Denmark. In the middle of the North Atlantic, the Faroe Islands unfold like a surreal painting. Sheer cliffs disappearing into drifting mists, emerald green meadows stretching to the horizon, and waterfalls plunging straight into the ocean. With only about 55,000 residents, but more than 80,000 sheep, the Faroes are often called the Islands of Sheep. Harsh weather leaves the land nearly treeless, but its raw, untamed beauty is what makes it extraordinary. The crown jewel is Lake Sorvagsvatn, perched high above the sea, which from a certain angle creates the illusion of floating over the ocean itself. The Faroe Islands are not just a cluster of islands. They are another world entirely, where nature displays a wild grandeur so striking it's hard to believe it exists on Earth. Mont-Saint-Michel, France. Some places make you wonder, is this the work of human hands or the dream of the sea itself? Mont-Saint-Michel, a medieval abbey perched on a tidal island off the coast of Normandy, is one of Europe's most astonishing masterpieces. When the tide rises, the island becomes a lone fortress adrift in the ocean. When the water retreats, a stone path emerges as if revealed by magic. The first structure was built here in the 8th century, inspired by a vision in which the Archangel Michael appeared to a bishop in a dream, commanding him to build a sanctuary atop the rock. Over the centuries, the site grew from a humble chapel into a stunning architectural complex. A Gothic abbey, bell tower, cloisters, and a surrounding village, all stacked upward like a stone spiral reaching for the heavens. The abbey sits nearly 92 meters above sea level, and during the Middle Ages, it became the third most important pilgrimage site in Christendom. Today, it draws over 3 million visitors each year, regardless of whether the sea chooses to surround it or grant passage. And when night falls, golden lights shimmer across the dark water, and Mont-Saint-Michel seems to hover between dimensions, a sacred place where the line between heaven and earth blurs in the rhythm of the waves. Great Salt Lake, USA. In the state of Utah, the Great Salt Lake spreads out like an inland sea, the last remnant of the massive Ice Age Lake Bonneville. Today, it's only a tenth of its original size, yet it still astonishes with its extreme salinity and unusual colors. After being split by a railroad causeway in the 1950s, the lake divided into two dramatically different halves. The north, tinted crimson by salt-loving algae and microbes, and the south, glowing in shades of turquoise. Surrounding it are the Bonneville Salt Flats, a vast mirror-like plain that, after rain, transforms into a giant reflection of the sky. Standing here, it's hard to believe this surreal vision isn't an illusion, but a dazzling chapter written by the Earth itself. Fanal Forest, Portugal. On the island of Madeira, Fanal Forest feels like a landscape lifted straight from a fairy tale. It is one of the last remnants of ancient laurel forests that once covered much of Europe millions of years ago. Twisted, centuries-old laurel trees draped in moss and lichen stand silently in a shroud of thick mist, giving the forest an almost spiritual presence. When sunlight filters through the fog, the scenery transforms into something otherworldly, as if a witch or wandering spirit from legend might appear at any moment. Fanal is not just a forest. It is nature retelling stories from millions of years past, wrapped in beauty both mysterious and surreal. Skaftafell Nature Reserve, Iceland. In southeastern Iceland, Skaftafell forms part of the vast Vatnajökull National Park, where glaciers and volcanoes shape a surreal landscape. Gray ice rivers, stained with volcanic ash, flow into valleys, merging with lakes scattered with shattered icebergs like giant mirrors. Among its highlights is Hengifoss, a waterfall just 12 meters high, yet framed by towering black basalt columns that resemble a natural Gothic cathedral. Many visitors say walking into Skaftafell feels like stepping into the set of a fantasy film, where nature reveals its raw power, both breathtaking and fierce. El Peñón de Guatapé, Colombia. In the countryside of Antioquia, El Peñón de Guatapé rises like a colossal monolith erupting from the earth. Towering about 220 meters, this solitary rock has long been revered as sacred by the indigenous Tahames people. To reach the summit, visitors must climb more than 600 steps, built ingeniously into a natural fissure along its side, like a giant shoelace tightening around the stone. The reward is a breathtaking panorama of the Guatapé Reservoir, where hundreds of tiny emerald green islands dot the turquoise waters like pieces of a mosaic. Standing atop El Peñón, the world seems to unfold endlessly at your feet, a spectacle both majestic and surreal. Brøndby Garden City, Denmark. On the outskirts of Copenhagen lies a small town that leaves anyone speechless when seen from above, Brøndby Garden City. Here, houses and gardens are arranged in perfect circles, resembling giant pizza slices scattered across green fields. Each circle contains dozens of small plots, separated by hedges, creating a closed yet harmonious community with nature. Planned in the 1960s, the area was originally meant for summer retreats, but today it has become a symbol of unique urban design. Brøndby is more than just a place to live. It feels like a living artwork, so surreal that it looks more like an AI simulation than a real town. Racetrack Playa, USA. In the harsh desert of Death Valley, Racetrack Playa stretches out as a vast, cracked, sun-scorched plain that seems utterly lifeless. Yet here lies one of nature's strangest mysteries. Massive rocks, weighing tens or even hundreds of kilograms, appear to move on their own, leaving long, winding trails behind them. For decades, scientists were baffled, until 2014, when they discovered the rare combination of rainfall, a thin sheet of ice, and strong winds that could set the stones in motion. Still, standing in this surreal landscape, staring at the tracks stretching across the playa, it feels impossible to believe that rocks can drift like ghosts. Racetrack Playa remains one of Earth's most extraordinary and mesmerizing enigmas. Lake Reynisfjara, Italy. A single bell tower rises from the middle of a still, silent lake. No village surrounds it. No bells ring. Only water, mist, and memory remain. This is Lake Reynisfjara in South Tyrol, northern Italy, a place where serene beauty veils a submerged chapter of forgotten history. The lake is not entirely natural. In 1950, 3 smaller lakes were merged to build a hydroelectric dam. To make way, the old village of Curon was flooded. Homes disappeared. Families were forced to leave. All that remains above the surface is the 14th century church tower, standing like a lone sentinel over what once was. In winter, the lake freezes solid, and visitors can walk across the ice to its base. Legend says that on misty nights, you can still hear the church bell tolling beneath the water, even though the bell was removed decades ago. Today, Lake Reynisfjara draws travelers not for the clarity of its water, but for the story submerged beneath it. A place where the past still floats quietly beneath the surface, where every stone seems to whisper the memory of something lost, but not forgotten. Yanjian City, China. Stretching along the Nan River, Yanjian City is so improbable it's hard to believe it truly exists. Known as the narrowest city in the world, Yanjian runs for more than 60 kilometers. Yet its width rarely exceeds 500 meters. High-rise buildings cling tightly to the steep cliffs on both sides, while the river below shifts dramatically with the seasons. A trickling stream in dry months, a raging torrent during heavy rains. To adapt, many houses are built on towering concrete stilts, creating a landscape that feels both precarious and surreal. From above, Yanjian looks like a glitch in reality, an urban settlement that seems more like a computer simulation than a city of flesh and stone. Matterhorn, Switzerland and Italy. On the border of Switzerland and Italy, the Matterhorn rises as the very symbol of the Alps. At 4,478 meters, its near-perfect pyramid shape, with 4 sharp faces pointing to the 4 directions, makes it one of the most recognizable peaks in the world. That striking symmetry has inspired countless works of art, from paintings and photographs to the iconic Toblerone chocolate packaging. Yet, behind its beauty lie in the deadly challenge. Treacherous climbing routes and unforgiving weather have made the Matterhorn both a dream and a nightmare for mountaineers. Seen from afar, It radiates a sense of grandeur and unreality, as if it were a mountain pulled straight from legend. Khao Chi Chan, Thailand. In the Pattaya region, Khao Chi Chan rises as a mountain that captures every gaze with a breathtaking sight. A colossal Buddha image, carved directly into its rock face. Standing 109 meters tall and 70 meters wide, the figure was created in 1996 using laser technology, then inlaid with gold leaf along its outlines, causing it to shimmer under the sun like a radiant halo. Once a quarry, the mountain transformed after the carving's completion into a spiritual landmark and a major pilgrimage site for the Thai people. Standing before Khao Chi Chan, you don't just see a monumental artwork, you witness a remarkable harmony of nature, faith, and human devotion. Statue of Unity, India. In Gujarat, the Statue of Unity towers beside the Narmada River, holding the title of the world's tallest statue. Standing 182 meters high, 240 meters including its base, this colossal monument depicts Vallabhbhai Patel, one of India's greatest leaders and a close ally of Mahatma Gandhi. Completed in 2018, after 5 years of construction and the work of over 3,000 laborers, the statue gleams under the sun as a symbol of national unity. At its feet, people appear almost impossibly small, as if facing a giant deity risen from legend. More than just a feat of modern engineering, the Statue of Unity stands as a bold declaration of pride and aspiration for an entire nation. Segovia Aqueduct, Spain. In the heart of Segovia, the Roman aqueduct rises as a living testament to the engineering brilliance of an ancient civilization. Built around the 1st–2nd century AD, this structure stretches nearly 18 kilometers and towers up to 28 meters high, constructed entirely from granite blocks without a drop of mortar. For centuries, it carried water from the Guadarrama Mountains to the city, sustaining life across generations. Today, more than 160 arches still stand firm, defying time and the elements. Gazing up at its perfectly stacked stones, you don't just admire Roman ingenuity, you feel as though you're standing before a wonder that transcends the very limits of time. This journey through 30 wonders that seem almost unreal reminds us just how extraordinary our planet truly is. Which place amazed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join World Mystery Wonders as we uncover even more breathtaking secrets of our world.